You're listening to The Scrimmage. Rob Emery is with us, the Norwich City fan that we quite often call on for comments, and he gives them quite freely.
Occasionally.
And former Norwich City player Bill Punton with us, and another Norwich player, former captain Craig Fleming is on the line to us now. Hi there, Craig.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Jolly good. And we got you on because you're part of the coaching team for Lowestoft Town, and one of the biggest games in more than 30 years for Lowestoft. And I know Lowestoft have had Wembley in recent times, but this is the first round of the FA Cup, and it's away at Conference Premier side Wrexham for the TrawlerBoys. How are the boys all feeling?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, we've had a training session this week. Managed to get through the last game with no injuries, which is always nice, and a bit unusual for us recently. So yeah, they're ready to go, to be honest with you.
What about a cup run? What does it feel like when you're part of a smaller team? Let's say you've been involved in major, you've been involved in league teams in your career, but is it a different sort of feeling when you're involved with a team like Lowestoft?
I think some of the earlier rounds are, if I'm being honest with you. Some of the early qualifying rounds, we've been to some strange places. But as it comes nearer the first round, no, it's just the same. The passion's there. I mean, both games, to be honest with you, against Gloucester and the Boston game as well at home. You know, really good atmospheres. You know, a good feel around the place, and good football played as well, to be honest with you.
I think it was 1977 when Lowestoft were first or last in this first round proper. So why is it? I can't ask you why it's taken so long, because obviously you haven't been involved for 30 years. But why have this team, do you think, managed to get through all those qualifying rounds and got this far?
Because we've got very good players, if I'm being honest with you, Matt. Well, we've got good players. We've got them playing a way that they know, well organised, and they work hard for each other. And any successful side needs that. You know, we had that when we won the championship. I had it at Oldham when we got through to the semi-final of the FA Cup. If you're well organised and you know your jobs and you work hard for each other, you're going to win games.
Is there a problem with nerves and getting to a big tie like this away at Wrexham on a bigger stage, if you like, when some of the players they wake up on the morning of the match and feel the nerves?
No, I don't think so. I think this group of players that were there previously, played in some big games. Last year we got through to the semi-final of ours, and although we didn't make it, it wasn't through nerves. They got through to Wembley. This year we got through to the first round, so they've proved regularly that they play big games well. And to be honest with you as well, I mean, I get this little feeling that it's amongst some. I've read a few bits on about the cup run and stuff, and portraying Lowestoft as little Lowestoft. We've got players that have got a lot of league experience in that. So you look at Gary Holt at Scotland International. Probably 3/4 of the team have played or been associated with professional clubs. So they're used to playing on a bigger stage, to be honest with you.
I think that what's quite interesting here from what Craig is saying, and he's talking about Gary Holt, is that, Gary Holt, enormously fit guy. Craig Fleming, coaching him now, always was enormously fit guy, and kept him playing longer than most people. And they've had Dave Carolyn's influence down there in the last year or so, in terms of top-level sports science.
Despite Dave Carolyn's influence, you should put in there.
Well, he might be listening.
I was going to say, that's
a bit careful. He knows where to find me. I just wonder how much difference that extra fitness potentially has made in getting them this far in the latter stages of games.
Yeah, especially against some of the better teams. You played against a higher level teams, haven't you? Although not necessarily better, but when you beat Gloucester last time, you needed the staying power to get that very late equaliser in the original tie.
Yeah, I mean, this might be me with rose-tinted glasses or believing in my team more than perhaps I should do. But I honestly can say that we've played a lot of teams leagues above us, and there hasn't been too many occasions where I thought, ooh, I'd swap him for one of my players. I honestly believe that, I've said it before in the press, Dave, a lot of the Lowestoft players were born in the northwest where there's, not just one professional club, where there's lots at different levels. They'd be playing professional football at some level. I think they're just unfortunate they're born in East Anglia where there is, I should say, one club.
Shall we get the Punton verdict on
Bill.
this tie?
Hello, Craig.
How you doing, Bill?
Yeah, not too bad, Craig.
Good.
I've been praising Lowestoft for the last 2 years because, last year they practically walked the league. They are a very good side, and but last year they were so much fitter than the other teams that they played against. And the last half hour of a game, they just overrun them. And I think this is carried on this year, and that's why they've been getting the results. Plus, they haven't been getting that many injuries, so they've been playing the same team week after week, and those players know how each other play, and they play a good system there, and they're very difficult to beat. I think they'll go and get a draw up there and bring them back to Crown Meadow.
That's nice to know, Bill, because every time I've been on your Friday show, you've kind of got the score right. So
yeah, I said you'd get a draw at Gloucester and beat them at home, which happened. I think the same will happen again.
Excellent, that'll do me then.
Okay. but another big element to this, Craig, and I'm sure you've been impressed all the way through of your involvement with Lowestoft, the crowd. That replay against Gloucester, you had 2,200 in, didn't you? And I mean, you're consistently getting over 1,000 in Crown Meadow, and I'm sure there'll be a lot travelling as well on Saturday.
Yeah, listen, when I retired from football, I had a little spell at Kings Lane, and it didn't really work out with ankle injury and stuff like that. I took a bit of time out, and if I'm being brutally honest with you, and Mick and Eddie spoke to me, and I was a little bit, because I didn't know much about Lowestoft without getting involved, but honestly, it's one of the best decisions I've made. Because as a club, what they can achieve is, I mean, honestly, it's limitless. I think they could be a professional football club, to be honest with you, in the not too distant future. Like I say, they've got the crowd, they've got the right kind of chairman behind them, they've got good players. It's just an impressive place, honestly. It really is. I mean, the Gloucester game, I think they locked the doors with people still trying to get in. So it's at that level, there aren't too many clubs that can say that, to be honest with you.
Sounds to me like you won't settle for a draw for a replay. You'd quite like to get it all done and dusted at the racecourse ground at the weekend.
Yeah, it'd be tough. I went to see them play Kettering midweek. They played away at Kettering, so I went down to watch them. And they've got some decent players. I mean, they've got Frank Sinclair, ex-Chelsea, Gareth Taylor, the Welsh international, who was at Notts Forest. I've played against him many times. Ashley Westwood, Sheffield Wednesday. So they've got a lot of league experience in there.
Dean Saunders, the manager.
Yeah, Dean Saunders, the manager. So I'm not. It's going to be a very tough game, and if we get something, well, wow, it's an incredible result. But I really do feel like we are. If we're really at it, I believe we could get something.
Well, Craig, with all the Norwich City links, I think all Norwich fans are well and truly behind the TrawlerBoys this weekend. But we better ask you about Norwich's situation currently. You must, as an ex-Norwich man, look at the situation at the moment and the results recently and think, hey, things are getting back to somewhere near where they should be.
Yeah, I mean, they've been different class, haven't they, really, over recent periods. You look at the results in the league, and they look like the form side, to be honest with you. They look like the team that everybody wants to beat. I know they went away to Leeds and lost undeservedly, so I watched the game on Sky, and I thought they were by far the better side. So yeah, to me, they look like the best team in the league. They've just got to keep it going now, keep getting results put together, keep staying hard to beat, and that top two is attainable, I think.
Lowestoft Norwich in the next round of the Cup?
I would love that one, trust me. I was sat around the television on last Sunday, yeah. Everything crossed waiting for that one to come out, but it wasn't to be, so yeah, round two.
Does that mean Halifax Town are out and Craig doesn't want them anymore then? I haven't looked at the draw, you see.
Do you know who put Halifax Town out? Or AFC Halifax it is now?
No, you're going to be a stato now, Craig.
I am indeed. Wrexham.
What could it been?
Yeah, so I'm going for a little bit of revenge on those boys. Yeah, they put Halifax out last round.
Craig, always really good to talk to you on the scrimmage.
And you, Matt.
Thanks for coming on. There's Craig Fleming, ex-Norwich City player, of course, in recent times, but now one of the coaching team at Lowestoft Town, who are going places, hopefully going into the next round of the Cup. Good luck for their game against Wrexham away at the racecourse ground on Saturday, and we'll have full commentary here on BBC Radio Norfolk of that tie, straight after Norwich City have played at Poulton Rovers.